How's it going, animation timers? It's that time again. It's time to get into some animation, time to get that imagination all cranked up, get into some creativity, and it's time to get inspired. And today's inspiration comes from Yuriy Mazurkin. Probably saying that wrong as per usual, so let me know down in the comments below. But he is a phenomenal painter and digital artist and just illustrator extraordinaire. I love his stuff. Really, really intricate backgrounds and great facial expression. He's got a really unique sense of styling throughout all of his work and a really great imagination, and just someone that I'm really enthralled with each piece that they come up with, and they always feel very a sense of grandioseness to each one of his pieces as well. So definitely check out more from him. I will throw a link in the description below. But I wanted to share a quote that was something that he said when he was talking about this piece in particular that he was working on. And that was, at first I thought to make a traditional helmet, but then I decided that it would be insufficiently fantastic. And I thought that was a very unique and fascinating way to talk about the creative process and talk about those choices that you make in each and every piece that you do, that this choice might be great, but is it insufficiently great? Is there something more that you could push it further? So even though it works and it tells the idea, is there a way to tell it more creatively? Is there a way to push it further? And I thought that was a really interesting kind of wording of that phrase, insufficiently fantastic. So I think that's something, at least for me, that I'm going to try and consider a little bit more in my work all the time too, of looking at it as well. Is it fantastic? Okay, but is it insufficiently fantastic? And it should be more fantastical. But anyways, let's go ahead and get into some animation. This is the Space Marine rig. It's a free rig you can grab over at Creative Crash. And if you're not familiar with what we'll be doing for the rest of the video, is we give ourselves 48 frames. It's 2 seconds of animation. I go off and I find a rig that I've never used before. It's a free resource for you guys to play around with as well. And we kind of go from there. A little bit of over the shoulder, hang out with me while I animate. A little bit of talking through the process. But most of all, the main goal of doing these videos is to hopefully encourage you guys and inspire you to go off and create something unique and wonderful that's your own, and that you're building your own worlds or using the creative medium of your choice, and just contributing something amazing and fantastical to everyone around you. So that being said, let's go ahead and get in here. I was thinking for today we'd do a little run cycle. Felt like this guy needed to be running, and there is a little bit of lag with this rig, so keep that in mind while we're working here. So let's start off here. Rotate that back. Bring that over. Rotate that back. Bring chest in. Rotate the head up a little bit. We just want to create a good storytelling pose to start from here. Bring that forward. Let's go ahead and bend that arm up here. Rotate that hand up as well. And let's drag that foot back a little bit more. Lift it up. And push that forward here. And let's do that heel roll there. Let's go ahead and bring that arm, give a little bit there. Trying to figure out which controller we want to use for this. No, I think we want to use this one. Shoulder. Maybe not. Use this shoulder. There's a lot of controllers for this one, so we want to figure out which one's going to be the best one for us to use. So I think it must be this shoulder here. Yeah, probably that one there. Yeah, let's go ahead and shift the hips a little bit over this way. Let's kind of grip these hands a little bit more. It's a very cool looking rig. I really aesthetically am drawn to this rig. One of my aesthetic-wise, one of the ones that I've liked more so than probably over the last few weeks, probably one of my favorites. We'll have to see how it ends up animating everything, but right now it seems like, despite a little bit of lag, just because there's a lot of detail in this rig, I think it should be able to get some good animation out and still get some good frame rate that should hopefully come across in the video as well. So let's make sure we're still recording here. We're just gonna kind of keep these in almost a loose gripped fist here. And let's go ahead and grab that thumb. No, the thumb, come on. Alright, maybe we'll just have this one to use. There we go. Maybe we'll tweak that up a little bit more. Bend that down and do a little there. And let's also, what did we use? We used this wrist controller. Do a little bit out that way. Okay. And let's go ahead and grip this one. We want to make sure that we're kind of sticking to the same controllers, so we're not going to be counter animating by using, because it has so many nice controllers here, we have to stick with less than everything. And then if we want to use a second controller to help exaggerate it later on, that's something we can do, but we want to make sure that we're sticking to one main controller to get our animation through. Like, see, there's a wrist controller here and a wrist controller there, so we want to stick with just one format in working, so that way it's a little more clean and simple for while we're working. That way you're not on frame 6, you're animating with this one, and on frame 12 you're animating with that one, and then you have to go back and counter animate. You can get lost in a lot of that stuff. Trust me, from experience, I have done that myself, so I find it simpler to kind of set up, well, this is how I'm going to approach this particular shot. And maybe you'll find that there's a better way down the road, but at least you have a good starting point of where to go with each of those things. And let's go bring that in a little bit more. Put that in. Put that in. Add that a little bit more. Okay. I don't want that foot to really feel like it's flailing out. So let's drag it back a little bit. And maybe we'll rotate it in Y as well. Again, we'll want to push those hips over a little bit more. And we'll start off with something like that. Maybe we could push this shoulder forward a little bit more. Which one did we end up using here? Shoulder L1, so this should be shoulder R1, right? And we'll just push that forward a little bit more. Okay, I feel like that's a fairly decent starting pose to go with. So let's go ahead and save our file. We are using Autodesk Maya 2014 for today's video. For more information on Maya, definitely check out the links in the description below. Let's go ahead and set our frame range from 0 to 48. And we might tweak that around as well, but I think that's what we'll start with. So I'll go ahead and set our first key there. And let's start building our feet here. So I'm going to go here, and I think we want to go on what, 8s? Maybe we'll switch out. Zero that out. Zero that out. Drop it down Y. Drop it down X. Down Z. And we'll go here. And we'll go heel, pivot, snip. Heel roll up. And then we'll Okay, and let's look at the other foot. So let's go at 8. We're just going to work at 16. So again, we want to make sure we key that in there. And then let's go ahead and bring this up here, over, and get rid of the heel roll, rotate it back here, and lift it up, and kind of mimic that key a little bit more. And we want to push it over, up, and do a little bit of rotate Y there, and then take that and move it to 8. And then bring what we have at 0 and bring that to 16, and then 24, and then 32, and 40, and 48. And let's see. Let's kind of see if the speed is about right. Okay, feels okay. Could maybe be a frame or two faster, but I think I'll keep it for now. Now let's tweak the hips over here. So at 16, we're going to push the hips over. And at 24, push the hips back. And at 32, push the hips over here. And one of the important things to get across in a run is to get that position where both feet are up in the air. Otherwise, you're going to be pretty much doing a walk. So you want to make sure that you get that. Now we want to get a little bit more contact here. So we're going to do, let's go ahead and save our file. I feel like it's working okay right now. We're getting just the fundamentals pretty much down here. So we want to hold for, basically take, go 2 frames more, keep the Y down there, keep the heel there, the rotate X there, so we get a flat. Probably even go till 4. So, actually let's go 3. Rotate X there, translate Y there, and then rotate Y there. So I'm going to delete that one. And then we want to do that heel roll down. So we've got 3 frames that foot's on the ground. And we still have a couple frames where it's up in the air, and this one hits. Okay, and then we're going to go 3 frames there. I'm going to keep translate Y there, rotate X there, rotate Y there, rotate Z there, heel roll there. Okay, and here 1, 2, 3 frames there, so we want to 0 that out, 0 that out, 0 that out, 0 that out. Okay, and then here, we want to 0 that out, 0 that out. So we keep that on the ground. Okay, now we'll go to the next one, go for 3 frames, and we might switch the timing a little bit more on this. Maybe we'll hold for 4 frames. Feels like it's going to have a little too much up at this point. And make sure we keep it on the ground there. Okay, I'm going to go here and go 3 frames. 0 that out, 0 that out, 0 that out, 0 that out, and 0 that out. Let's go ahead and save our file here, and let's go ahead and look at this. There we go. Okay, too much side to side, you can already tell. So let's go Window, Animation Editors, Graph Editor. Let's look at that Translate X. I feel like there's just too much, so let's bring that back to about, we can always crank it back up if we want, but let's kind of find a better place. For right now, it's feeling like too much. Now when we add our rotation and a little bit of weight and up and down in there, maybe we'll revert back to a little bit more. But for this point, okay, yeah, let's rotate Y to favor that front planted foot here, chest as well. So let's take a look at that, and let's minimize it a little bit more. So we don't want it to be too busy here, and we're just going to kind of even it out a little bit more. Let's see. Let's go ahead and go down on the hips there, up on the hips there, down there, up there, down there, up there, down there, up there, down there, up there, down there, and then again back to where we were. So let's see. Too much up and down, and maybe I'll invert it as well. And it's not consistent enough, so let's tone it down, even it out, and then we'll see if we want to invert it, see if we like it going the opposite way here. Let's see. Feels better going the other way around. So let's go ahead and exaggerate that more. So we'll pull the initial ones down further. The other ones up a little bit higher. Let's see. Okay, and let's go ahead and do a little bit of rotate Z. There, 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 so let's push it back 4 frames and zero it out at the beginning. Do I like it that way? Let's see. Let's see. Let us see how we feel about that. Let's see. Maybe we don't like it that way. Just animate the whole rest of the video like this. It will be delicious. We'd really enjoy animating, talking like Sean Connery. Okay, it's all right. But again, we need these kind of frames, like 6. That's what sells it as a run, where you keep both feet up off the ground, so you get that little bit of hop in there. Let's see how it's feeling from this way. I think we need to exaggerate the rotate Y a little bit more. So let's crank that up to about 30%. Okay, let's go ahead and save our file now, and let's look at the spine here. fairly even. It's not favoring the left side or the right side. Let's kind of frame through that. Okay, and let's do a little bit of rotate Z here. And then back this way. And back again. And zero it out again. Okay, and let's clean that up a little bit more. Okay, let's look at that now. Let's see. I think I want the heel roll to just be 2 frames. Feels like it's a little long. I want those feet to kind of smack down a little bit more. This one, so it's just 2 frames of heel roll. So zero that out. And zero that out. And zero that out there. Okay, let's watch that now. Maybe a little less side to side. Still feels like that's a little bit too much, so we're just going to scale that back. Let's see. Maybe we'll keep the feet on the ground one more frame. So let's take each one here. So instead of being 11 here, it'll be 12. Instead of being 27 here, it'll be 28, so I'll just push that back a frame. Let's see if we like it holding a little bit more on the ground here. Yeah, it does feel like it holds on the ground a little bit longer, so I kind of like that. So let's bring that back a frame, bring that back a frame, bring that back a frame. Let's see. Now let's look at the translate X's here. Make sure to translate X's here work in the same way. Translate Z's. Translate Z. Okay. Alright, now let's do a little bit on the arms. Grab the right controller here. Okay. And we'll swing that back, and forward, and back, and forward, and back, and then go again. Okay. And again, I don't know that we're really a lot of swing on these arms. But I want some, so let's go there and here. Go rotate it forward here. We'll just flip it. And let's see here. just doesn't get up high enough, so maybe we have to do less swing back on it. Because I want it to feel a little more bent here overall, so let's see. Go somewhere like that. It feels a little better. Side here. We'll go ahead and swing it back a little bit, and then forward, and then back, and forward, back, and forward again. See which side I like better. I think I'll do that instead. Instead of breaking it in the middle, which I normally do to loosen it up, I kind of want to stiffen it up a little bit more. So just kind of keep it a little bit simpler. It's a little bit stiffer. And it swings up way too high. So let's bring that back. Let's see. Still feel like it's a little much, so scale it back a little more. Maybe it's just too much in this arm overall. Rotate Z. Let's see if that helps a little bit more. Still feels like it goes up too high here. It's just too much in the arm up there. Is that what it is? Let's see. Yeah, that feels better. Alright, and let's look at the hand. Maybe we'll drag the hand here. So, make sure we're doing the right one here. So let's go ahead and drag that back there. 12 and we'll swing it up. And we'll put 20 and we'll drag it back. 28 and flick it up. Drag it back. Flick it up. And back to where it was. Let's see. Might be too much. So I don't want too much drag on there. Let's see. Alright, and let's look at the other hand here. So we want to pull it up a little bit more, and drag it back there, pull it up a little bit more, drag it back, pull it up a bit, drag it back, and go back to where we were. Let's see how we like that. There we go. So it kept our arms a little bit stiffer than normal, but I loosened up the hands a little bit. Alright, now let's look at, do we have an actual hip controller that we can drop? We've got a pelvis. Get some extra bounce in here. Got these pouches. I guess we could do something with that. So let's go down with that. And then so 12 around 4, so we have it up, down. We do that. Why am I getting confused there? It's every 4 frames, right? Yeah, every 4 frames we have up and down. Okay. So up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, and then back again. Alright, now let's clean that up a little bit better. And we don't need a lot of it, and then we'll delay it by probably about 2 frames. It's not the same timing as a lot of the rest of it. So what I'm really looking at is hopefully mixing up the timing so we got stuff that isn't just on 4s and 8s, but we got some stuff that's kind of 3s and 2s, and let's see. Yeah. Now let's amp it up a little bit more and delay it a frame. Okay. We'll probably push it forward a frame. Keep it on the same timing that I had. Maybe we'll tone it down, push it forward a frame. Let's see. Alright, let's look at the. Do I have a backpack controller here? Or anything for this thing? No? Okay. You know what? I'm going to keep the timing back on 4s again. Let's push it forward again. And they have a toe controller. There is a toe tap, so let's drag that toe back there. Fling it up there. And 0 it out at 3. Drag it back there. I want to make sure I 0 it out here, so keep it flat. And lift it up here. Give me 3 frames here. Flatten it out there. Key it there. Drag it back there. Flick it up here. Just so we get a little bit of change of shape in that foot a little bit more. And 0 it out there. Keep it there. And go back to where we had it here. Okay, and let's look at the other foot here. And I think I'm going to do a play blast so I can really see it. I feel like we're still getting a little bit of missing a couple of frames here when I'm watching it. I'll 0 it out there. Keep it keyed there. Drag it back there. Lift it up. 3 frames. frames again, zeroed out. Keep it at 0. Drag it back. And go back to where we started here. Okay, I'm going to play blast this real quick, so 1 second. Okay, great. It's feeling a little better now that we can play it at speed. Need extra up and down. It doesn't feel like it has enough weight there to it, to the hips especially, and a little less side to side. So let's take the translate Y here. I think I'm actually going to droop it a little bit lower there because we're getting some snappiness in those knees, and without going in and doing this all in ones. I want to try to avoid that a little bit more. And let's take the translate X here, and again we'll just scale that back a little bit more. Alright, let's go ahead and play blast that again, and let's see how it looks. Okay, and I did tweak the up and down by a couple of frames there, so we get that down after the contact a little bit more, and that helps sell the weight a little bit better. Maybe we can crank that a little bit more as well. It again and check it out. Alright, now I want to do a little bit in the fingers and make it so that the head kind of moves on its own and doesn't really just follow what the chest is doing. But I feel like it's starting to come together now a little bit better. Tweaked up the up and down a little bit more, so I got some extra actual weight in there. Feels like there's some heftiness to it now, which is nice. Alright, so let's look at the head. Let's go ahead and save our file while we're thinking about it here. Let's go ahead and look at the head here. So let's start off. Do a little bit of rotate Y there, a little bit of rotate Y there. Keep it kind of focused forward so it's not just swaying with the movement of the chest. There. That's why I said sometimes it's really good to play blast things and not just keep it in the speed of the viewport here, because a lot of times what you think you're seeing isn't really how it's going to play out as well. So let's see that. Do a little bit of rotate Z. Side to side here, just a little bit. Zeroed out. We'll just have a little bit of that. We don't need a lot. close a frame. Oh, I only have rotate Z on anyways. Okay, never mind, then we don't have to worry about that too much. Okay, so let's take everything on the index and we'll go ahead and push it forward a frame. And everything on the pinky, and we'll delay the frame. And let's look at the thumb. Let's go every 8s on the thumb, so that would be swinging out a little bit there, in a little bit here, out a little bit there, in a little bit here, just so it's a little bit different timing than the rest of the hand. Then we'll approach the other hand, and then we'll see how we like it. Okay. I'm not going to worry about the tips of the fingers and everything on this one. So let's go 4, and we're going to drag it a little bit there, then drag it that way, drag it back, drag it forward, drag it back, drag it forward, and then go back to where we were. And take the index, push it forward a frame, pinky, drag it, and let's look at the thumb. And then on 8, we want to rotate X, rotate Z, hang it down a little bit more, and swing it out a little bit, down, out, down, and then back again. Okay, so let's play blast this and take another look. Alright, I kind of like it. I'd like a little bit of up and down in the head, so we'll see if we can do that. Don't know if I want to do it in rotate though, I kind of just want to do it in translate. So we'll see if we can get a little bit of bounce in there. Alright. And now I want to see, is there an actual neck controller? No, it's a spine. Alright, so maybe we'll just go up, down, up. And this is going to probably be a lot just because of how fast it's going to be. So we might need to scale this back a lot here. But just so we can get a little bit of drag in that head. Go back to where it was. Okay. So I am already just going to tone this down to almost a nil amount, and then we'll crank it back up if we need to. So I can already tell how, with the speed that we're at, doing this on 4s, it's going to be a lot of movement there. So you can get away with a lot of movement over a long period of time, or a little movement over a little period of time. But when you do a lot of movement over a little period of time, it really is very noticeable. So you have to kind of be careful there. So let's play blast this again and see how. All right, we got a little bit of that bounce in the head now. So I feel like that's working pretty well. So let's go ahead and turn our mirror curves off and hide our controls there. I'm going to play blast it again so for when we actually look at it. And let's go ahead and create another camera here and create our ground plane. Go back to where we're looking at it at. Okay. And let's go ahead and play blast that again. Alright. Did get rid of one frame here at the end just so it would loop better. Just delayed that last frame from 48 to 49 so that there would be some variation between 0 and 48 and it would be holding for 2 frames. So let's take a look back at where we started. We're looking at the beautiful work of Yuriy Mazurkin, and he said, first, I thought to make a traditional helmet. But then I decided that it would be insufficiently fantastic. So when you look at your work, try to make sure that wherever you can, with the time allotments that you have and the skills that you have and the tools that you have to use, that you try to make things as fantastic as you can. So even if they're great, make sure that they are extra great, I guess would be the kind of inverse of this as well. And that they're never insufficiently fantastic, but over the top fantastic. So I love you guys lots. Thanks for hanging out and doing some animation with me. I hope you guys went off and created something amazing of your own today. And if you did, definitely share it down below so I can give you some encouragement and some thumbs up. So I guess that'll do it for today. I love you guys lots. Have a wonderful night, and we will see you for some more animation tomorrow.